Welcome back to Growing Up in the Wilds of Suburbia. This is your host, Chad Everett Brochures, and if this one started off a little strange or a little bit delayed, it's because I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty with this system, and I really feel that it is user error. But this actually perfectly ties in with what I'm going to be discussing on this episode. So, all right. Here's what we're going to what topic we're going to talk about today. This one has to do with your goals. Okay, we all are working on our goals. We have all kinds of ideas about our goals, what we want to accomplish, and all that fantastic and fun stuff. But here's the thing about our goals, and a way to find out if you're willfully putting something into the future that is layered or laced with all kinds of procrastination. It's the same thing that we use in the fitness industry whenever it comes to asking people about their fitness regimen and their nutrition. So asking about their lifestyle things. I've learned, and most people will attest to this in the fitness industry, that there are a lot of people that will tell you what sounds good. I came up with a distinction between, I call it resume and character. So you have resume versus character. People that have to hire or have had to hire people know they'll get this pretty quickly. People show up with a resume and the resume looks awesome. They have, all kinds of fantastic proficiencies. They tout all the great stuff that they've done, even things that are, I'm going to do great things in 6 months, I promise. But I can't tell you I'm going to do that in 6 months, I promise. So I may as well just say it now. I am, Excel proficient. Microsoft Word, I can write 200 words a minute. I'm going to start taking adult classes in the evening. So I'll get up to par before they really need those skills. It's what a lot of people do in the resume direction. Then there's the character version. And the character version's a little bit different. In the sense it is what you actually show up with, what you actually can do. It's not what you promise to do. It's not what you think you can do. It's actually how you do follow through on things. Resume versus character. Your character will always be the person that shows up whenever times are hard. Whenever the work is required, the character is what shows up. Now, if what shows up is somebody doesn't want to do the job, their character is that they really don't want to do the job, but they like that they got the opportunity. Now the resume would be, I can do it. I'll do it. I'll be on time. Always. All the things that sound good, not always what is true. So whenever I'm talking about your life goals, I'm also going to look at it from that perspective as well. Your life goals. What do you want? Do you spend most of your day, all right, for you watching the video or for those watching the video, just got my hair cut and it is all over the place. All right, back to it. So, the way to audit this is going to be, you talk about your goals now. What do you want to accomplish? Fantastic. Now, I really want you to put that into your own perspective. What do you want to accomplish? What have you really wanted to do? Now, do you spend a lot of time fantasizing or daydreaming about it? Or are you doing things for it? Now, if you're going to be really honest with yourself versus do what the resume version of yourself would do, which is, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to it next week. Or I'll get to it later today, or I'll get to it tomorrow. If it's not a hard deadline and if you don't follow through on it and you have a habit of letting yourself down, you're going to let other people down too. It's just the way that we'll do this. You should really treat yourself as somebody you really care for. Treat them as somebody that you love dearly, and put the effort into making that person's life better. A lot of people don't do that though. They'll do minuscule behaviors. It's what's required of them. They'll do what their job requires so they don't lose it. They'll do, what the relationship requires so it's not gone or causing all kinds of challenges or whatever. But there's not a real strive for excellence. So here's a way that you can audit yourself. This is a simple process, but you do need to understand immediately. Get your book of your life, get the book of your life out. That's your notepad. That's the one that's yours. Get it out in front of you. Write down exactly what you're wanting to accomplish as far as your goals are concerned. Oh, and I encourage you to pause the video so that, again, I'm not going to have people that have already done it waiting while I have, a moment of silence here. But I also don't want you to say, okay, I'll get to it. Is it right now? Exactly right now. If you just told yourself, I'll get to it, you're going to procrastinate. You have it built into the mechanics, the machinery that's running in the back of your mind. What runs your daily behaviors. You have them established. You're likely not going to get to it. You're more likely not to get to it than you are likely to, because you're already proving it. This is exactly the auditing process to figure out if you have the motivation to get to your goals, or if it's just more rewarding to dream about it, like watching a movie that you enjoy during the times that you don't really have a whole lot to do. I come across as a bit of a unique individual because I don't really have times that I'm bored. If I do have times when I'm not doing something, I will revert back into my own mind and to consider all kinds of variables that are necessary in order to continue to build towards my goals. Now, I do have some pretty large life goals, so it requires a lot of focus, a lot of effort, resources, associated organization. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I also have to have a deeper understanding of pretty much overall life for my life goals, because I really want to make a big change in the world, and I don't want to be the one that tells you how to live your life, but more of the person that can inspire you into living your life the way that you want to. That has a sustainability variable or factor to it, versus I got it for a couple of years. Like a sports athlete, that you had it for a couple of years, you blow out one of your really important mechanical aspects, and you can't get back to the game, and you didn't stay in it long enough to become a commentator. So now you're kind of, you spend the rest of your life thinking about what you almost had, or what you had for a short period of time. You don't want to be in that scenario. That's one of the hardest scenarios to be in. A lot of those individuals, when they seek out counseling or therapy, they don't really recover as well as other people that have gone through trauma, that, because the rest of their life they live in this place of self-importance. It's not to mean that there's not people that get out of it. It's just a common variable that shows up for people that had some sort of celebrity or some sort of grandiose opportunity and it fell apart. So we don't want to get there. We want to have sustainability. Sustainability is going to also be a part of your character, not the resume of you. If you're sitting around daydreaming all day, it's your resume. You're dreaming about your resume. You're dreaming about the future that you could have, but your behaviors aren't aligning with the dream. So it's also likely that you're going to experience more frustration. Now, this falls right back into the same alignment as what I talk about whenever it comes to the dating world. Don't wait for the person that you want to date to show up. Be the person that you would rather date, and let that person that you would really appreciate time with see that you're somebody that connects with their own behaviors. Become the person that you would rather date. If you hate it when people are off or that aren't on time, then how about you start making sure that you're on time and establish that agreement from the very beginning that you also expect that of the other person. Don't sit back, run late, and then tell other people they're late. You're a hypocrite. You'll never really establish a whole lot of credibility, at least not in that area. So, all right, get the book of your life out. Now write down what your goals or your dreams or ambitions are. Now, here's the fun little piece, and this is one that's blatantly in your face. In the fitness industry, when we ask people about their lifestyle that's associated with them becoming good or achieving their goal, most people will talk about the good day they had. They'll talk about the projection of how they're going to make the changes because they're motivated in that moment while they're sitting with the fitness professional on what they want to do to change. So they're going to tell them as if what they're going to do to change is what they did already or what they are doing. And it's not true. It's the fabrication. It's the resume aspect. It's not the character. How you actually understand the distinction of your own character. If you have a big life goal, if you want to make a promotion, start a company, if you want to start a family, you want to meet the right person in your life that's going to make you feel like you're living the type of life love that you want to live, or the love affair that you want to have in life, you really are going to want to write this stuff down. So, with that, here it is. What did you do yesterday? Go through everything you did yesterday and figure out if you did, in fact, do something that was building towards the future that you want to have. Don't stretch what you did into making it mean that you are working actively. If you didn't plan on doing it and you happen to accidentally do it, you're waiting for the lottery opportunities to give you the life you want. But if you intentionally did it and you accomplished it, or at least you intentionally did something, you accomplished doing something, but it wasn't as successful, you're in the practice of it, and that's where you need to be. You need to be in the practice of execution, because excellence comes from continuous practice, execution, excellence. So, practice it. What did you do yesterday? Example, mine. I have my maturity program. It covers 8 different areas of maturity. So there's physical, there's the community, there's cognitive, the brain development, and your education pieces, if you will, narrowed down to brain function. You have the emotion of maturity. You'll have finance, you'll have business, you'll have sexuality, and you have spirituality, which I liken to purpose values. Those are the 8 different areas. I do every single day. I work on growing a little bit more in every area. I am patient with myself, and I also give my time to actually act out if required. Because if I'm constantly reserved, I also may be suppressing. So if I'm constantly holding back from saying something because I'm holding the position of being reserved, I may not be able to fully express myself and get the full benefit of full expression. Maybe I do need to have, an argument. Maybe I should have a conversation that might escalate to yelling. Although I'm not prone to that at all, and I'm responsible for the other person that's in it as well, not just myself. I typically don't go there, but what if I should? What if it's something that is a repetitious behavior that continues to show up and all other rational conversations haven't worked? And the other person thinks that I may not necessarily have it in me to go that far. I've had several of my friends that have been surprised that of the few occurrences in my entire life, whenever it came to the point where I've lost my temper to near violence or ready for violence, that hasn't happened in 15 years. But still, it was an exercise for me to understand a few more things. I don't hide behind the idea that I can't defend myself. I actually put it out there in my own level of confidence that I can, but I don't want to. Don't want to have to. I'd rather talk things through. So every single day I practice something. You know the 8 areas now from what I've just mentioned. Yesterday I worked on the physical body. I have a practice of doing my cardio in the morning to take care of myself, to get my day started. I make my bed. I do my daily morning routines, clean my house, not as a whole, but there are elements about what I do in my morning ritual that has to do with taking care of and cleaning my home. I exercise, I get my meals ready for the day, and then I get off and on my way to work. I listen to something educational. So my home is part of my environment. I take care of it. I'm responsible for that. My daily practices and disciplines come in, and the discipline is make my bed, exercise, prepare my meals so that I'm not stopping for fast food. It doesn't mean that I've never have and that I don't. I give myself forgiveness if I have to, but I also realize I broke routines, that those routines are necessary for me to have a baseline for progress every day. I made 2 videos yesterday, or 2 episodes of growing up in the wilds of suburbia. I played around a little bit in different expressions of my character on both of them in different ways, which if you get a chance to watch them, I was a bit more playful in the Kings and Queens episode, the relationship Kings and Queens. And then the other, I was a bit more like this, more reserved in it. So there's a big part of what I did yesterday. Obviously, I went to work. I had some pretty important conversations that needed to happen that also had a great degree of value built into them that really gave me something more than what I had to be responsible for. It wasn't just pleasantry conversations, which I'm not prone to those anyway. I like conversations of meaning, but this was a whole nother level deeper in meaning for me yesterday. And I had to be responsible for that because I also came across a conflicting viewpoint. And that conflicting viewpoint had me put back into perspective where I was and also respect that other person's position. So the whole echo chamber variable also was put into practice. And I realized that I was not in a position where I was in an echo chamber with these other people, which is good. I prefer that. I don't want to be with a bunch of people that always agree with me. I'd rather be with people that can give my ideas enough room to be exercised so that I can find out how valid they are versus letting them take too deep of a root. So you see, yesterday was a really valuable and impactful day for me. I did a lot to continue to step forward into the future versus maintaining or just existing. Write down what you did for yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Don't try to stretch something if it wasn't intentional, it was an accident. I'm the kind of guy that I liken that to pool. Like I play pool. I'm not professional. I'm actually not very good at it, but I enjoy it and I like to improve. I am one that I'm very strict on myself about it. I abide by the actual some of the rules that they use when they regulate the games, when they do competitions. So I'm very responsible in that sense because I really don't want to take the cheat method and then get better by cheating and then stay better by cheating and not be able to actually, play with integrity. For me, my integrity level is associated with the rules that have been put in place. I'm not very good, but also whenever I make a shot, if the ball goes in someplace other than where I wanted it to go, whether I set it or not, I do not take the next turn because it did not go by my integrity level. I didn't stretch it to make it mean that I actually am allowed to do take the next shot. I encourage you not to do that to yourself. You're not going to cheat anybody but you. Don't cheat yourself. Okay. This is really specifically set up just so that you have more time to look back at yourself, to be able to give yourself some auditing to find out if you are making progress towards your future. Baby steps are better than no steps, and a baby crawls a great distance too. That's much further than when they rolled around in their belly. May not seem like much, but you did the same thing in your life. Now, moving forward, let's make these bigger steps. They're bigger compared to what a baby does, but they may not be big to you. They're still steps into your future. The journey of 1,000 miles is within every step. So, all right, with that, that's it for the video today. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. I'm feeling just a bit tired, but I'm committed to doing these. No matter how I don't want you to receive me in a way that is unpreferred or that I don't really want. But at the same time, I am, I'm dynamic enough and be honest enough that you're not going to get the one-time, idea of somebody. I'm not going to give you a fake entry where it's like, hey, look at me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be highly authentic. So I'm not going to play some crazy role that's going to leave you thinking that, this guy's always up on something or whatever. I'm not doing that. This is a real person on the other side, and I am up to something. And I encourage you to get up to something called your life. I'm up to mine. Get up to yours. All right, write it down in the book of your life. Track this stuff. Get used to it. Practice these things on your own. Come back to the videos. Comment on it. Let me know what you're taking away from this. And also, share this video with the person in your life you know this is going to help. It may not be the polished diamond just yet, but you found a diamond in the rough, which I am up to something, and I do feel that what I'm sharing has a great deal of value. It's a matter of how you receive it and how you apply it to your own life. So with that, thank you so much for joining in. Again, share this video with the person in your life you know that this will help. Be forgiving enough that this is a practice like anything else for yourself as well as for me, and also for the other person you're sharing the video with. And moving forward, we're all in this together. Let's think critically. Let's create the life that we want that has a sustainability factor. Till next time, I'm really looking forward to the feedback. Comment in the comment section, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, we'll see you on the next one. See you guys. Oh, this is Chad Everett Brewer.